Alright, hello everyone. So for this lesson, we're going to take a couple of quick little notes about the Dust Bowl. Okay, objectives and standards: to explain the cause of the Dust Bowl and analyze the effects of the Dust Bowl on Americans. And you have our standards there again as well. Another vocabulary preview: I'm sure many of you have probably seen this word or know what this word is, or may have an idea what this word is, but drought. I want you to think about this. As you look at this picture, what do you see in this picture, and how do you feel looking at this picture? What do you notice? What do you think that big cloud may be? Um, and you can obviously see it coming towards this town. So, what do you think may be going on in this picture? All right. So, what was life like for those who experienced the Dust Bowl? That's our essential question for today. Okay, so some background to the Dust Bowl. So, farmers had plowed over prairie grasses and planted dry wheat in the Great Plains region of the United States. Um, and farmers continued to plow and plant, uh, which led to serious environmental problems. They just kept plowing and planting, and it just caused a lot of dry soil, and they didn't really refresh the soil or renew the soil, so it was just kind of the same soil they were using. And wheat could also not stand up to the dry conditions and droughts of the area, so when the wheat died, it left behind a very dry, dusty soil. So when the wind came through the area, it kicked up all this dry soil and spread it through areas of the United States. And you can see a map here of the dust storm and what we call the Dust Bowl. And you can see where it mainly was. The red area is the most severe parts of it. The brownish, grayish color there is where a lot of the effects were felt. And then the yellow part is just some other areas that were impacted by the Dust Bowl. You can see that red spot there was where the most severe or most damaging parts of the Dust Bowl hit. So what were the effects of the Dust Bowl? People could become physically ill from the dust clogging their lungs, and some people even died. They called it dust pneumonia. It actually killed a lot of people from it. It could also clog car engines and tractor engines. It could clog anything. It was very thick, dry dirt, floating through the air. So it could do a lot of damage. It also caused, some damage to livestock, and obviously crops are going to suffer from it as well. Many people are going to be forced to leave their homes that they had, or homes that maybe people in their family had for years. They're going to be forced to leave their homes to look for better lives, or to go look for in search of better jobs because they can't afford to farm or do what they need to do in these areas. And of course, you also have dust-filled homes. I mean, this dust was blowing all around, and so the dust, landed on windowsills, came into the floors. It was very thick dust. It was very hard to get up and clean. Okay, so how about some relief? The government began to suggest that new farming practices be enacted to help restore the soil, make some new soil. That way, things could grow, and it could, like I said, refresh the soil and make it new again. The suggestion did work, and life began to improve, and farmers still use many of these practices today that were discovered during the Dust Bowl and during this time period to make sure that something like this doesn't happen again. Okay, to kind of wrap it up here, remember, many years of poor farming techniques ruined the soil. And again, with the droughts, a lot of the problems came from that as well, to create this dry, dusty soil. The Dust Bowl ruined the lives of Americans in many different ways. It made them sick. Sometimes it killed them. It made them not be able to work, or create a standard of living for their families. And it was also just a very dirty, dusty thing to have in your house. But eventually the government does suggest new farming techniques that are going to allow, this area to recover from the Dust Bowl. Alright, so that's all I have for the notes part of this. What I would like you to do now is there is a short video that was done about people who lived in these areas during the Dust Bowl and some of their experiences from it. I'd like you to watch that video and make sure you respond to the questions about the PowerPoint and also to the question about the video as well. So enjoy, and I'll see you later.